Mr. President, I rise to speak on the Consolidated Appropriations Act of 2016, otherwise known as the Omnibus. 3 months ago, it was unclear if we would get a budget deal that would lift the caps for both defense and non-defense spending. It was unclear if we could really not head to a showdown. It was really clear if we were not heading to a shutdown, and we were not clear if we could cancel sequester. I'm proud to say, as the Vice Chair of the Appropriations Committee, the committee has completed its work, and we've done it in a bipartisan way, and in a way that there will not be a shutdown of government. We have canceled sequester, and we've done this in a responsible way. The House is working on the bill now, and we shall be voting on it tomorrow. Tomorrow, I will talk about the national implications of the bill when it comes before the Senate. But today, as the senator from Maryland and for Maryland, I would like to talk about the public investments this bill makes to support the nation's needs, which also supports Maryland's needs, which supports Maryland jobs. As the Vice Chair of the committee, my first job is to be the senator, and as the Constitution requires, my job is to be the senator from Maryland, and I require of myself to be the senator for Maryland. I'm proud to say that this bill does make the kinds of public investments that I believe will help America and Maryland's future. This bill delivers on a promise that I made many years ago that I would look out for the day-to-day needs of my constituents and the long-range needs of this country. Mr. President, you'd be interested to know that Maryland is the home to 20 major federal facilities with more than 200,000 federal employees and retirees. We have great military installations like Fort Meade, the National Security Agency, Cyber Command, the United States Naval Academy, Naval Bethesda, and Walter Reed. It also has great public institutions that are the National Institutes of Health, the National Weather Bureau, the National NOAA satellites that tell us what the weather will be, and also agencies like the Food and Drug Administration. In this bill, though we have the federal assets in Maryland, they serve the nation. These aren't Maryland institutions, they're national institutions, but they employ Marylanders. In this bill, working on a bipartisan basis, we have increased the funding for the National Institutes of Health by $2 billion, increasing it to $32 billion. Working with both Senator Murray, who is the ranking member, and Senator Blunt, the chair of the subcommittee, we have nicknamed the National Institutes of Health to the National Institutes of Hope. And why? Because it looks out to find the cures and breakthroughs for the American devastating disease, from cancer to Alzheimer's. But at the same time, while we have worked on funding the research to find cures and breakthroughs, they must be moved to clinical practice. That's why we in Maryland have fought so hard to make sure the Food and Drug Administration is capitalized in a way that it does its job. The Food and Drug Administration, employing, again, over 4,000 people, is responsible for our food safety, both here and as it comes in from abroad, and also for being able to move drugs, biologics, and medical devices into clinical practice and demonstrating that they're both safe and effective. A big job, and it's a big employer in our state. But we also want to make sure that we look out for those who are the most needy. This Senate and this Congress often talks about Social Security, and it also talks about Medicare. Both of those, Social Security Administration and CMS, are located in Maryland. We're very proud of that. The Social Security Administration is in a community called Baltimore County, a neighborhood called Woodlawn. But at the same time it's located there, it has a building that's 57 years old. 57 years old, and it hasn't had any improvements since 1959. They work in terrible situations with mold, decay, crumbling technology, outlets to be able to plug it in, and even parts of the vermin. We really then make sure that for those who administer the Social Security program have the right facilities and also have the right technology. We've worked very hard to be able to stand up also for our federal employees. And again, working on a bipartisan basis, we allowed a 1.46 cost of living adjustment. We were absolutely appalled to find out about the OPM data breach, which had a devastating effect on over 130,000 federal employees, both here and around this country. And what we did working in this bill, we're going to make sure that the federal employees have 10 years of credit protection, though OPM fell down on its job in protecting them. We've also been very concerned about physical infrastructure. We work very hard in terms of the Metro. Metro is not a Maryland subway. It's not a Virginia subway. It is America's subway. For all who ride that subway, we've been absolutely concerned about its safety. Working with our colleagues across the Potomac, we've been concentrating on Metro safety, and we were able to put the funds in the federal checkbook to be able to improve that. But we also want to be able to get people to the jobs, and that's why we funded the Purple Line. There's a great opportunity in Maryland, and I hope comes to other parts of our country, which is modernizing our ports. Whether you're down in New Orleans, whether you're in Baltimore, whether you're in Charleston, Long Beach, California, the ports need to be modernized. Great opportunity for jobs, real jobs in construction, and real jobs here. I'm happy to say we worked very hard over the years with my colleagues, my beloved friends, Congresswoman Helen Bentley, a wonderful Republican woman. They called us the salt and pepper of the Maryland delegation. We worked to make sure our port was ready dredged and ready for the future. There are many other issues that I could show, but I wanted to show that we're making public investments that not only look out for American jobs, but our federal employees working in these key agencies, the National Institutes of Health, the Food and Drug Administration, the National Weather Service. These are civil servants who, while they are working on their mission, they're also, while they're located in Maryland, they're working on a national mission. I'm glad in the role that I played to make sure they were capitalized. I'm going to thank my colleagues on both sides, on the other side of the aisle, because they too understood why these investments are important. Much is said about why we need to be America the exceptional, and I believe it's in these kinds of programs. Our human infrastructure, our innovation, and our physical infrastructure is what will do it. Mr. President, these are many of the things in this bill. Many will complain about how big it is, but it's not how big the bill is, but it's how effective we are in helping America be able to be what America is, a land of opportunity and a land of growth, and a land that knows how to protect its people and protect the world. Mr. President, I yield the floor.